What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having a great start to your week. It's been a rough couple of days for me, I'll be honest with you. I can't believe it's only Tuesday. I need this week to just fly by, but the draft completely kicked my ass. It was a really fun time. Had a great time with all of you guys, but we know after the draft, we always get some undrafted free agents, and there will be guys trying out at the rookie minicamp. I will give you a list of both. We'll break down the actual undrafted free agent signings, and then I'll have another video for you coming out about the tryouts. So we'll talk about all that stuff. But tonight, we're here to talk about those undrafted free agents. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you like one of these guys, you know one of these guys, think one of these guys can make the roster, whatever is on your mind. Love to hear from you. Hope you guys enjoyed this draft. I thought it was a fantastic draft. You can go check out my breakdown of that, put that bad boy out, gave you my grade. And I think Howie continues to show he is the greatest GM, not only right now, but of all time. So let's take a gander here at some of these players. And again, appreciate you all taking the time here. And, you know, you see here the both lists. Again, I will break down those invites as well. So stay tuned for that. But tonight we're here to talk about the 9 guys on the left, the undrafted free agent signings. So Cooper, Dixon, Hook, Johnson and Johnson, Mazize, Moren, Pierce, and Powell will be broken down here tonight. And again, would love to hear your thoughts. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff that you do to support the channel. I cannot thank you enough. Again, love to hear your thoughts on that draft coverage, what's on your mind with this draft. We'll have an updated depth chart at the end of this video as well with these guys added in, so you'll see the competition everywhere. So let's start this bad boy off. I'm going to start it off on offense with the running backs. And, well, first up, we've got Montreal Johnson out of Florida here. And, look, this kid, he played a few years at Louisiana as well, 5'11", 216. And this is one of those physical type runners. So get a guy who has good vision. Seems like a patient runner. He actually can block, not the greatest blocker, but somebody that can and can also catch the ball. So that's good for, you know, third downs there. Not the fastest guy, though. You see 4.58, 40. And he did have an injury that was kind of holding him back. So things that, you know, make people fall in the draft. And he's 23 years old. But you can see last year, 5.9 yards per rush, 4.9 yards per reception, 6 rushing touchdowns, even with an injury. So still able to produce. And I think this kid, look, he's going to compete, but you get a guy that actually is a physical runner that can produce and be that number 2, number 3 on a team, whether that's here with the Eagles or not. He's going to compete with A.J. Dillon, and he can do those things he needs to on that third down. So going to be intriguing to watch Montreal Johnson in this offense this offseason. Now, another running back, Shunderick Powell here out of Central Arkansas, also spent time at Northern Alabama there. He's more of your speed back. Got that 4.43 speed, got quick bursts, quick cuts. He's really good in space. He's an elusive little guy. He's also got great vision, though, and he can hit those home runs. So you love to see that. A good receiver. 8.8 yards per reception, 8.2 yards per rush, 14 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns last year. So 5'8", 180. He is a little guy, that's for sure. But we know those little guys can sometimes turn out to be something special. So I think for me, why not? You kick the tires on somebody that is really good, you know, and, yeah, he played at Central Arkansas. So you got to look at the level of competition there with most of these undrafted free agents, you'll say that. But, you know, I think for me, it's a why not a kid that, you know, put back there, try to help him, you know, learn the return game, do what he can back there. I think he used to kick return a couple of years ago, but didn't do anything last year. But Shunderick Powell, best of luck to you, little man. Looking forward to watching you this offseason. Now, up next, talk about a guy that actually does return, Taylor Moren here. And every time I try to type it in, they have some bad words to say about the young man. But wide receiver / punt returner, 5 years at Wake Forest, 24 years old with 4.43 speed. And this guy is actually a pretty good route runner, got good hands, good body control. He's quick, very agile. And, you know, I've seen it already. Oh, is that the new Britton Covey? And, well, maybe a little bit bigger. I think 5'11", 185, not much, but 13.5 yards per reception, 11.7 yards per return. I saw somewhere 17 yards per return. I don't know where that came from, but no doubt. I think either way, that's really good. And he's somebody that, obviously brings that versatility, can help in both areas. And he's going to provide some competition to the special teams department, a gunner and returner, and he'll also try to help in that slot game. So somebody that, maybe you found a diamond in the rough, doesn't have the greatest top end speed exactly, but dude, 4.43, you never know. Again, so these are undrafted free agents. They're here to compete. We'll see how far they go. Maybe they end up on the practice squad. Maybe they make the roster. You just never know. Now, another wide receiver, David Cooper here out of Tarleton State. And I wish I could talk today. Another really good route runner, good hands, body control, lacks kind of that top end speed, but 4.49, that's decent. And I actually enjoyed watching this kid. Made some really fun catches. Just kind of, again, that body control. Really looks like, I know, Tarleton State, shitty competition there for him. And that stinks when that happens for these kids. But, he had 7 100-plus yard games there, 14 receiving touchdowns, 19.1 yards per reception. He was really fun to watch. And this could be one of those diamonds in the rough, man. I really like this kid. He was probably, of all the offensive players here, skill position, I think he was my favorite. And I'm looking forward to watching him this offseason. Now, finishing up the offense, this dude, son of a, let me tell you something. Holland Pierce, 6'8", 341 pounds, hailing from Trenton, New Jersey. This mother effer's got the size, the length, the strength. He could be your swing tackle. He could be the tackle of the future. This kid, he's a great story. He was a walk-on at Rutgers, played there for 5 years. He's 24 years old. And this dude actually, doesn't have much quickness to him. I think his pass protection needs a little work. He needs work, period. But 1 sack allowed. That, if you're looking at stats, that's great. His PFF grade, 85.1. But there are definite things he needs to work on. That's why he's undrafted. But, dude, every, snap I saw of this dude, every time I just found myself saying, holy shit, this dude is huge. Go check him out. He is a monster, 6'8", 341 pounds. My Lord, I am looking forward to seeing Holland Pierce and, of course, Jeff Stoutland doing some work together. See what these guys, obviously Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, there to assist these young guys, and really, really excited to see what this kid can bring to the table. Now, size, speed, they don't always mean everything. They definitely don't. But this kid's got he's got the skills, the tool set that you never know what Jeff Stoutland could do, but I'm really excited to see what could happen there. Now, up next, we're starting with the defense, Lance Dixon. And this dude played at Penn State. Then he went to West Virginia. Then he ended up at Toledo here, finishing up. But he's a former safety as well at West Virginia. They played him there. And you can see he's 6'2", 233. And, he's got decent size, but former safety background, that's good for the coverage, right? But not the strongest of dudes. If you're going to play linebacker, what they have him listed as, and in a Vic Fangio defense, you don't necessarily have to be huge or anything, but, he's got speed, agility, good pursuit, high football IQ. I think that this kid, bounced around and that kind of, knocked on him there, but he's only 23, 6'2", 233, 4'5", 40 isn't the fastest. Maybe that, kind of hinders it. But look, I think, again, these are all undrafted free agents. They go undrafted for a reason, but you never know what you could find in the right situation. Anything could happen. And this kid, he is one of those versatile, pieces that we talk about in Vic Fangio defense. I think he could do well. So best of luck to him. And we'll find out, maybe use him as a pass rushing linebacker, special teamer, and then let him develop. We'll find out what you got there. But best of luck to Lance Dixon. Up next here, B.J. Mays. And this dude really actually was probably my favorite defensive player, although we'll talk about the safeties in a second. But 4'9", 40, maybe that, helped him drop a little bit there. But I think for me, he was the top nickel in the country, rated by PFF 82.2. Take that with a grain of salt, but versatile. He can play in, out. He's versatile in schemes. He went to Incarnate Ward, for a couple years. Then he went to UAB. Then he ended up at Texas A&M. So he has shown he can shine in any of these systems. And last year, 4 interceptions, 5 passes deflected. This dude, when he's out there, man, like he's really fun to watch. I actually had a good time watching this kid. He's really a ball hawk. He gets in there on the receivers and 6'1", 195, only 22 years old. Dude, you never know. And we need competition there, so I'm all about it. Best of luck, BJ Mays. And then in the secondary here, another Toledo guy. And someone had asked, hey, what's up with all the Toledo stuff? But their head coach, Jason Candle, and their defensive coordinator, Vince Carey's, that's how you're saying it there. But they have a relationship with Nick Sirianni. So, getting a couple more defensive players, a linebacker, a safety. We already have a corner. Let's have him go. But you've got Maxon Hook here, who really fun to watch. 23 years old, 6 foot, 202, a 4.55 40. That kind of, you can see the lack of speed on tape as well. This kid, he was a team captain. He just brings that fire you want to see out of these defensive players. And, he's a versatile kid as well. Can play a little bit of nickel, can move down as a linebacker, do some things that, hey, sky's the limit for players like that in Vic Fangio's defense. He's got great awareness, good instincts. I think this kid, if not, making the practice squad maybe, but hey, a gunner on special teams, you show that you're valuable in multiple areas. I think you never know. So best of luck to Maxon Hook there. Now, up next and last, Brandon Johnson out of Oregon. And this dude's effing fun. And sorry, some of these graphics suck, but it's hard to find some of these kids. But this is a versatile piece, man. You talk about those safeties that can play nickel and they fit perfectly with Vic Fangio. This is him. But a physical dude, great, high football IQ. Now, 4.43 is what he's listed as, but there's some chatter that he ran a 4.24 like it is pro day, something like that. Okay, dude. If that's what happened, you would see it. But, you see it on tape. He is fast as shit. But the size kind of a concern, 5'10", 185. And you do see he is a little bit smaller. But, again, can play some of that nickel. Maybe that's where you're using him. Dime corner there. So many things you could do with a guy of his skill set. And with that fire he plays with, dude, he is so fun to watch. I really enjoyed Brandon Johnson here. And you can see last year an interception, 5 passes deflected, a half sack, 45 tackles, 23 of those solo, 5 tackles for a loss. He was really, really fun to watch, and he's got that speed, man. So to me, regardless of if you ran a 4.24 or what, that's a pretty big deal if you could do that. But he does have that 4.43 speed, and I really enjoyed watching him. Amongst most of these undrafted kids, I'm really excited about this class. I think, we talk about continuing to build a contender here, building a dynasty for the future. You do that by having great depth pieces. You have your starters on special teams, guys that, really it's important to win in all phases of the game. So these are important pieces from the top to the bottom. We talk about, making sure every detail matters. And that's why we have this show where we talk about all this stuff because it matters. And, who, what? Well, that's what I'm telling you, dude, who they are, what they're about. Let's effing go. We want to see this team build that dynasty we've been talking about since last year. And they tried to tell me, man, and, well, they found out once we won that Super Bowl. So that's the first. Now let's keep building on it. Now let's take a look at this Super Bowl winning team and how they are starting off here. And remember, still time to sign players, trade for players, sign more undrafted free agents, tryouts, all that stuff, rookie minicamps coming. All these things are going to happen. Again, I will have a breakdown of those tryouts, but let's take a look at the depth chart with these undrafted free agents added in with the draft picks and the signings, all that stuff. You'll see there is a key there for you to understand what those colors mean. You see the outline there, the green, blue, yeah, the green letters with the white outline. They are the rookies. The white letters there with the green outline, those are the undrafted guys. So anybody you see with the outline, that's a rookie. The green, those are people that were signed or re-signed. And then you have reserve future guys in the gray there. So you can see we have obviously Shunderick Powell and Montreal Johnson added to the mix with Tyrion Davis Price trying to beat out A.J. Dillon. I think Barkley and Chipley are locks, but Van Suberen there, fullback. Your receivers. You signed Marshall a week or two ago. And then you have Darius Cooper and Taylor Moren, we just talked about, added to the mix with Anaya Smith, Johnny Wilson continuing to try to develop. Elijah Cooks, Danny Gray back in action. And don't try to get too worked up over where I have these guys. This will get moved around, all that great stuff, but just kind of filling guys in where the spots were. You see at tight end, a lot of competition there. Latu and Muse, the reserve future additions. Granson and Bryan added in free agency to compete with Calcaterra, Jenkins. Dallas Goddard still here, baby. Offensive line. I've got Tyler Steen there, but hey, Matt Pryor, Drew Kendall, Trevor Keegan. Somebody wants to win that job. All right. But you see Holland Pierce added to the mix at tackle with Miles Hinton, Cameron Williams. So Kendall land the addition in the offseason. He obviously somebody that can play tackle. Matt Pryor can as well. So you have competition abound there. So loving the undrafted additions because they fill out the places you kind of needed depth. And, you know, if you feel after a couple of weeks of camp or preseason, whatever it is, you need more, well, then you can add. But at least you've got some competition there. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you can see that Lance Dixon, now with Bond and Campbell and Dean and Trotter and Mondon and Gant, you've got competition at linebacker. I effing love it. Now, you didn't add to the D-line, whether that be interior D-line or the edge guys. You've got a lot already. Love it. Go check out the breakdown of the draft picks. I'm really excited about that. But at corner, you can see B.J. Mays added to the mix here. You've got Mac McWilliams, who was drafted. I love that. Perry Nickerson with Castro Fields and Woods were added to preserve future. So you've got guys competing. This is what we need in the offseason, and I'm all about it. You still have a couple of roster spots. We'll see if any of these tryouts get added. But then at safety, you can see Maxon Hook and Brandon Johnson were added. So now you've got Blankenship, you've got Brown, McCollum, Makuba, Scene, Sam, Hook, and Johnson. So a lot of competition there at safety. Maybe some of these guys are playing nickel or moving around, but you can see the secondary. You see the linebackers, linemen, all that stuff. So this team really filling out, making me feel pretty good, not only about this year, but the future. And we also have the special teams department. Hewlett and Williams were added to the mix. Nia Smith, can he be healthy and show, you know, he can do both punt and kick returns? And then you bring in a guy like Moren. You got Mac McWilliams who can do it. Shipley, Tyrion Davis-Price. There's other candidates here we will see throughout the offseason returning the ball. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. All I've got for you from the undrafted free agent pool. I'm sorry. I am really tired. It has been a very long day. Sorry that this video is out. It's going to be a little after 10 when I get it out. Lord help me, another 5 a.m. when I wake up tomorrow. But I'm going to work on that tryout video tomorrow. Hopefully get it out, if not the next day. But we'll have Fan Friday this week. We'll talk about the draft, the undrafted guys, everything. See how you guys are feeling headed into this sicko season. But I appreciate each and every one of you sickos taking the time here. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe down below. But if you need anything, you know you can always reach out to me. Always here for you guys as you are for me. All I've got for you tonight. So until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always,